Hi Year 3, welcome to week 2 of term 3 of your maths. I'm really looking forward to talking you through all of your maths work this week. I'm also feeling really sad because we don't get to see you in school at the moment, and all of your Year 3 teachers are really missing you, and we can't wait till we can be teaching you properly back in the classroom again. We hope you're all okay. We hope you're enjoying your home learning so far, and we hope that you enjoy this week of maths. Okay, we're going to start by continuing our learning about angles. So you started thinking about right angles on Friday, so we're going to continue learning about different types of angles today, and then we're going to move on to different types of line, and later in the week we're going to be learning about 2D shapes and their properties. So lots of geometry this week. As I said, I'm really excited to be doing this with you online, and I'm going to talk you through each of the lessons, talk you through your slides, so that you'll feeling really confident when it comes to the time of you doing your work at the end. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you now, and let me just do this. If you know me, I need to concentrate on this part. Let's make that nice and big. Okay, so if you need to pause the video at any point, okay, if you're not quite sure, if it's a bit confusing or forgotten what I've said, obviously you can pause, you can rewind the video, you can listen again, or if you need to go and do something or get something, of course you can just pause it then as well. It would be good if you had a piece of paper and a pencil or pen, or a whiteboard and pen or something like that, just for the first part of the lesson today, in case you'd like to just make some drawings on the piece of paper. Okay, so pause the video if you need to get that sorted, and then we're going to begin. So as I said, I'll talk you through all the slides, so you're feeling really confident, hopefully, by the time it gets to your worksheet at the end. So our learning objective for today is I can identify acute and obtuse angles. So as I've already said, you're going to be learning about angles today, following on from the right angle that you looked at on Friday. Now remember, a right angle has 90 degrees and is your kind of L shape, okay? So a square would have 4 right angles, okay? And I know you looked around your houses or the rooms you were in on Friday for some examples of right angles. I'm sure you found lots. You might have found the corner of a table, or the corner of a chair leg, or maybe the corner of a worktop, the corner of a piece of paper. I've got a ruler here which has got 2 right angles here and 2 right angles here. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling quite confident about what a right angle looks like. Now, first of all, we're going to think about what is an angle. Okay, so an angle is actually a measurement of turn. Okay, so it's measured in degrees. So we measure length, don't we, in centimeters or meters or millimeters or kilometers. An angle we measure in degrees. Okay, so a full turn is 360 degrees. And you may have heard on computer games, or when you talk about with skateboards, you do a 360, which would be a full turn. Okay, so if you just stand up for a moment, and if you're facing the computer or the iPad, the laptop, whatever you're working on, if you could just turn around for me in a full turn, so go all the way around, doesn't matter which direction you go, back to facing me again. If you do one full turn, that would be you've just turned through 360 degrees. Okay, now I'd like you to turn half a turn. So your back is facing towards me, you're facing in the opposite direction. Okay, so half a turn, you have now turned 180 degrees. That is half, isn't it, of 360. So come back to face me. Okay, now I'd like you to turn a quarter turn. Okay, so to face to the side, either the right or the left, again, it doesn't matter. Okay, so if you turn a quarter turn, you're now looking this way, and you have turned through one right angle. You've turned a quarter. If you put your arms out, you'll make a right angle from where you turned to where you're facing now. That will make a right angle, and that is 90 degrees. Okay, like we know, that's how many degrees are in a right angle. So have a sit down. Okay, so those terms demonstrate basically what angles are in terms of measuring a turn. Okay, so that's what you can think about when you're thinking about angles. You're thinking about how far something has turned and created an angle. Okay, and then we measure that turn, the space in the middle, in degrees. Okay, so now we're going to we're going to listen to a song first of all about angles. Okay, so you need to pause the video and you need to just follow the link on the web page, which will take you to a song all about angles. So have a look at that and then come back. Okay, now we're going to meet the angle family. Okay, so we have got the angle family here. They're saying, hi, we're the angles. We're one family, but we are all very different. Okay, so first of all, we've got Mr. Obtuse Angle. Now you can see between his arms, the black bit is measuring the turn, the angle, and that he's showing you an obtuse angle. Okay, so an obtuse angle is an angle that is bigger than 90 degrees. So the turn is more than a right angle. Okay, so there you go. It's always going to measure an obtuse angle between 90 and 180 degrees. And you can see an obtuse angle between his kind of shoulders, that black bit there, his arms are out. He's making an obtuse angle. So it's an angle that is bigger than 90 degrees. Okay, now this is Mrs. Right Angle. So we know about right angles. Okay, right angles always measure 90 degrees. Okay, they have to be exactly 90 degrees. And you can see her arms there are making a right angle. Okay. Now, the baby, his arms are making the angle of an acute angle. Now, an acute angle is smaller, less than 90 degrees. Okay. Now, I like this one because it helps me to remember that the acute angle is the angle that is smaller than 90 degrees because it's cute, it's small. Okay, so in this case, we've got the baby acute angle. Yeah, so any angles, if you've got a 90-degree angle, any angle that is smaller than that, okay, so whenever this space, the turn, is smaller than 90 degrees, it's called an acute angle. And I always remember that because it's small and it's cute. Okay, so the angle that's bigger than 90 degrees, anything bigger is an obtuse angle. Anything smaller than 90 degrees, which is your right angle, is an acute angle. Okay, we don't need to worry too much about the reflex angle. The reflex angle is an angle that measures anything between 180 and 360 degrees. So that we'll talk about that maybe when we get back to school together. We don't need to worry about that today. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is pause the video and just either have a little think to yourself, or if you want to draw them and label them, you can. What are each of these angles called? So one of them is an obtuse angle, bigger than 90 degrees. One of them is a right angle, and one of them is an acute angle. Okay, so just have a little go at doing that. Okay, so hopefully you have realized the first one that you can see on the left is the obtuse angle. It's bigger than 90 degrees. In the middle, you've got your right angle. Okay, 90-degree angle, and then on the right you've got your acute angle, the smaller one. Now, if you used an angle eater in Friday's lesson, okay, to check the right angles, so you can see the missing part, his mouth, we call that an angle eater, is 90 degrees. So if it's a right angle, it would fit exactly in with those lines. So an acute angle, okay, you would see the line, you would see the angle between those two lines. So I've drawn an acute angle here to show you, okay, and you can see if I had an angle eater, it would go, the lines would be up here and here, and therefore because it's smaller than 90 degrees, we can see that angle in here. Okay, so I would like you now to pause the video and draw 4 acute angles. So 4 angles that would be less than a right angle. So you need to have a straight horizontal line along the bottom. That's probably a good place to start. And then this line, as long as it doesn't get any bigger than 90 degrees, can be anywhere placed in this section. Okay, so have a go at drawing 4 acute angles. Okay, next activity, have a look at the shape on the screen. Now you have got, if we're looking at the internal angles, so the angles inside the shape, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 angles. Okay, or you could call them kind of where the corners are, the vertices are, where the sides meet. you've got 6 angles to label. Okay, so again, pause the video. You can draw the shape and write down your labels, or you can just talk yourself through it. You can just do it having a think about it. I'd like you to label or think about what angle we've got out in each of those corners of this shape. Okay, so if we start by thinking of the top kind of left-hand corner, okay, that is a right angle. And if we follow that line to the right all along, we've got an obtuse angle diagonally joined to another obtuse angle. If we go down the shape, we've then got another right angle, and we go across the shape, and we've got 2 more obtuse angles. Okay, so hopefully you found those 4 obtuse angles and those 2 right angles. Now, here we've got 2 clocks. Okay, so we want to know, has the minute hand, okay, which is the longer hand, moved through an acute or an obtuse angle to get from A to B? So the first clock is A, clock A, okay, and you can see that the minute hand is the hand that's pointing towards the 9. Now on clock B, okay, the minute hand is pointing towards the 2. So we want you to think about, if that minute hand has moved from the 9 to the 2, what angle is it making? What angle has it made? Okay, have a little think about that. Okay, so hopefully you have realised that it would be an obtuse angle. If the minute hand that's pointing to 9 had just moved to the 12, it would have made a 90-degree right angle. Okay, but it kept moving to the 2, and therefore that turn in there is over 90 degrees and it is an obtuse angle. Okay, next challenge. So on your paper, I would like you to try and draw a shape now with 6 obtuse angles. Now that's quite tricky to do. Okay, you could either challenge yourself to do it with only obtuse angles, so no acute angles and no right angles, just 6 obtuse angles, or you could include some right angles and acute angles if that's a bit tricky. Okay, have a go. Okay, so here is one possible answer of a shape with just 6 obtuse angles, and that, of course, is a hexagon. Okay, you can see there it's got 6 obtuse angles. I'm sure there's some other answers, and I'm sure you may have come up with some really brilliant ideas. So well done. Okay, nearly at time for the worksheet. I think this is our last challenge to do together. So it says year 3 have been asked to describe the angles in this shape. So we've got 2 opinions here. Okay, so Mo is saying that all of this shape's internal angles, so the angles inside the shape, are right angles. Okay, our L shape. And Lily is saying this shape has 6 internal angles altogether. Who is correct? Is Lily correct? Or is Mo correct? Pause the video, have a little think about that. Okay, so hopefully you realised that Lily was correct. 6 internal angles. Mo was not correct. They were not all right angles. Okay, here is your work for today. So if you can print things off at home, you can print off this sheet and you can do it on there. If you can't, okay, you can either just talk yourself through it, or you could draw the angles onto a piece of paper and label them that way. Okay, there's always a way around that if you can't print it off. So your do it, okay, is to label each of the angles that you can see on the screen now as being acute, obtuse, or a right angle. If you're still not sure, rewind the video, go back, have a look through the slides again, okay, until you're feeling really confident. And at the bottom of the do it, you've got 2 boxes. Okay, in one box, we'd like you to draw 2 acute angles. Okay, make sure you use a ruler if you can to do that, please. And in the other box, 2 obtuse angles. Okay, so that's the do it. When you've done the do it, if you can, if you've still got time, have a go at the twist it. Okay, so similar to some of the things we just went through together, the first part of the twist it says year 3 have been asked to describe the angles in this shape. And you've got Max and Emily giving their opinions. Okay, so you can have a read through those, and we want you to say who you think is correct and why. Remember, in our twist its, we'd like you to explain why they're correct, how you know. Really important. Okay, so that's your twist it. And then finally, if you are up for a challenge today, okay, then you'll solve it. So Jack describes a shape. He says, my shape has 3 right angles and 2 obtuse angles. What could Jack's shape look like? So we would like you to draw what Jack's shape could look like. And at the very bottom of the solve it, it says, describe a shape in terms of its angles for a friend to draw. So either perhaps if you've got anybody at home that's not too busy, they could help you, you could describe a shape of them in terms of the angles for them to draw. Okay, and also if not, maybe if you're Zooming a friend later or FaceTiming any family or anything, you could maybe do that activity then. Okay, so I'm just going to stop sharing the screen and oops. Yeah, I am going to let you get on now with your maths work. So as I said at the beginning, really missing seeing you all. Wish we could be together in the classroom. We hope you're doing okay at home, and I hope that all made sense and you're feeling confident. If you're not, go back, watch some parts again. And I will see you tomorrow for day 2 of maths this week. Okay, have a lovely day.